Yes. Back again. Yes, yes, y'all. Back again in the building. Motown Philly back again. Yo, what's going on? I see some superstars in the building. You know what to tell them. I don't know what's going on in the background. I think somebody's watching the January 6th reports in another room, but it's all good. You know where to hone your attention to? Right here. Right here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, the voice behind the curtain. So let's say hello. Welcome back, all and sundry. It's a coffee break with JM. Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see who's checking in. If you haven't spoken up, check in, check in. Let me see who's here. Tell me who's here. What's up? What's up? What's up? I see that dirty gum hustler Fletch is in the building. No, 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 notorious JRD's in the building. Mojo Jojo is in the building. El Boogie's in the building. Sweet Caitlin is in the building. Get it. That's right, Jim Lujan. How are you? Jim, first sip of the night. Guys, you know what this is. Get your sippers up. You know how we do this on coffee break. Where's my sippers? First sip of the night is to my man, Jim Lujan. New animation, Sugar Monster, right? Is that what it's called? I'm sorry. Is that finished, Jim? Can you give people a link to the joint so we can check it out? How are you? That's right. Get it. That's right. It's go time. Yizzer. What's going on? You know what? Did I wear this shirt? I felt like I wore this shirt not too long ago on Coffee Break. I like this shirt. This is from the K Bunkport collection, the Kenneth Bunkport line. You know about Kenny Bunkport, my summer alter ego. Sugar Machine. Yes, I'm sorry, brother. Give us a link to the new feature. Jim has a fantastic new animated feature out. Go peep it. Um, yeah, so a lot of you guys know, or maybe you don't. I don't know how people if people pay attention to the granular details of the world. If people pay attention to like the minutiae of the world, but I like clothes. I don't know if anybody figured that out. A very Philadelphia thing. I stay matching or matchy matchy, as some people call it in South Philly. It's not so extreme as that. Like I wear a whole red suit or something like that. I'm not like a cartoon character, but I like to keep it lively. You know what I'm saying? The summer out. One time, somebody said to me, "Jamar, you look so comfortable," and I said, "I would like to live my life like I'm always on vacation." And they went, I don't think that's too far from the truth. Not in mind state, but in your mood, your energy level, right? Let's get stuff done and let's chill, right? Let's see what's going on in the chat. That's right. Comfort is key, Caitlin. You tell them what's up. But when I say comfort, I didn't say take it however you want. Like, there's some things I don't do, and I'm not going against anybody's system because I know now the new thing in the world is athleisure, athletic leisure, athleisure. Very comfortable sweatsuit. For you ladies out there, gray sweatpants seasons just ended. All these things people want to be comfortable. I get it, but I also like to, I know things. You know, I like to keep it, cool. I'm not a pajama pants in public person. That's not kind of what I do. No knock to whoever does that, but and they say first impressions, you only have one time to make a first impression, right? So I wonder, maybe we'll talk about this for a second. If you have met me IRL in real life, put a one in the chat. If you only know me through the video scope, you've never met me in real life, put a two in the chat. That's right. It's sustenance. It's manna from the gods. Thank you. Look at all those ones. I love it. Yo, what up, Jared Kraft? We're gonna give you your flowers in a second, bro. It's good to see you. So, what's up, Mama Carla, the matron saint of Coffee Break with JN? Good to see you. E, you're hiding in there. Hello. Well, look at all those ones. I don't know. Is there any twos? Have I met every one of y'all IRL? That can't be true. That can't be true. But it may be true. Um, so I'm not telling tales out of school. Every one of you individuals that have met me in real life know my steez. You know how I am. You know how I, keep the bucket. I keep some clean uh white leather sneakers. I used to be a big Stan Smith guy, but I'm kind of rocking with some new stuff these days. Wow, JRD, that's strong. JRD says I should give you a second one for being someone I would trust in my child's life. Wow, thank you. That means a lot to me. Oh no, JoJo just called it, and now it's Hoochie Daddy season. Yo, we're not going there. I don't know if you know about Hoochie Daddy shorts. That's the new layup. I don't know who's rocking those, but they're almost like coochie cutters for dudes, and they're ridiculous. I mean, I don't know, Jojo. Do you think that's kind of like adjacent to like we're going back to biker shorts? Is that kind of what this has come back to? That's pretty ridiculous. But you gotta have the thighs to pull that off, right? Pause. Well, there's no twos. I know there's a couple of caffeines in here who I've never met in person. But I guess that says something about the audience, right? Um, and I'm sure everything I've said on on this podcast, this stream, if you've met me in real life, know that you're not surprised by anything that's come out of my mouth yet, right? I think I am who I am. You know, you see me on this thing going, I never thought I would say something like this. All of you know I talk way too much. I like to run my mouth. Very curious. I ask you all types of questions, and then I'm like, I should shut up. I should stop talking. No, 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 finish. All right. Well, then last night I had like Melba toast with this really thick. That's just how I am. And wouldn't this be the best platform for me to kind of use my 17 charisma on you captive audience, you willing participants in this project, right? Well, hold on, Mama Carla. That ain't for everybody. But we can talk about that because my slippers is clean. That's right. I gotta keep the slippers is clean. Um, but yeah, so I guess what I'm going to is that no, none of you should be surprised by the JN persona on these videos. Um, so I had a topic for tonight, you guys, and thought maybe we could talk on this. We could speak on that for our hour together. We're all adults here, right? Maybe not. I would like to ask a question. I want you to look inside yourself. Pause. How many of you, your core friend group, are friends from when you were younger in life? Like, are all your friends like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of a friendship? Or do you have any new friends? And I guess I'll say friends as people that you willingly spend time with, book events with, go places with, call or text or message and like make plans to see each other in real life. New friends. So let's do the next ones and twos maybe. If you have if all right, we'll say if 90% of your friend group are friends from 10 years or further back, put a one in the chat. Yo, K Dub in the building. What's up, brother? Here, I give you a sipper, but I'm going to get distracted. Just hold on. If you actively and currently make friends in your old age, put a two in the chat. I have an experiment I want to kind of talk about. So I'm going to see where this goes. While you guys are cooking that up, I'm going to put another sip up. Put another sippers. Get your sippers up for my man K Dub in the building. What's up, K Dubs? Good to see you, brother. Let's see those ones and twos, y'all. All right. All right, I'll take that. Caitlin says two, but I'm not that old yet. That's right. You'll be young forever. I love it. Fletch says one and two. Okay. Jamal says one, but two, two. You know Jerry Kraft. You know what's coming, Jerry. Pause. You know my man Jerry Kraft. Yes, that Jerry Kraft. Newbery Medal award winning cartoonist, author slash illustrator winner, Jerry Kraft. New York Times bestseller, Jerry Kraft. Coretta Scott King award winning Jerry Kraft. First base Jerry Kraft, second base Jerry Kraft, shortstop Jerry Kraft, that Jerry Kraft says, who willingly spends time with people? What about our deadlines? You got a point there, my man. But Jared, I'll even posit to think that you got some old partners from back in the day that you still keep in touch with, right? Oh, Stunkin, you missed it. I'm quizzing you on friends. How many of us have them? Friends, ones you can depend on. I was about to do my UTFO one love dance. Man, did the spin. So if you have friends, Kenny, who go back with you 10 years or more, like from school or from when you used to like, I don't know, rob banks or whatever, put a one in the chat. And if you have new friends, and I mean friends in the instance that you actively try to like spend time with them, not just rattling off text once in a while. Mama Carla says two sometimes. Mojo Jojo one. Okay. Jared D says technically I met Matt in the 90s. Would he make my choice of one? Sure. One and two then. Caitlin says my longer friendships are all spread out and focused on careers, so not being able to hang as much. Okay. E says two, but also one, at least until the big C. Well, the big C is something else. Jared D says, I have a friend or two. I have a friend or two from before I married E last millennia, but all of my friends, people I trust as kid litter folks I've met since 2005 when I started selling comics. All right, so what I'm getting at here, you guys, is, and I make fun of this once in a while, is that I've seen T-shirts out in the world that say "No new friends" on it. I've also seen some shirts that young people wear, like there's a really common one that's kind of derogatory, but this one is funny. It's fries before guys. So I think as we get older, it's really hard to make new friends. right? Like, so say if you're a person, and I'm not pointing or casting aversions or however you say that, aspersions, aversions, aspersions about how anybody gets down, but I will posit to think that most of your friends are old friends. If somebody comes up to you now and they're like, yo, let's be friends, you're probably mad suspicious, right? And I wonder, and this is what I want to talk about. Why are we like that? Like, do you think as we get older, we kind of close up, pause, we kind of close ourselves up from new relationships and only trust the people that have been with us for a long time? So let's talk about that. Mama Carla says, I just met a new group of quilters who have become friends. Oh, that's what's up. Okay. Mojo says, no new friends. I don't have the energy with these newfangled weirdos out here. So you're not hanging out with the people at the in the back of the Starbucks. You're not going to the Wordle meetup. Ken says, I have a close knit group of friends that go back 20 plus years, and I seem to be social, so I'm always making new ones, like all my caffeines. Caffeines notwithstanding, Fletch says, I still have friends from my earliest childhood that I don't see often, but when we do, it's like no time has passed. Okay. Matt says, it's hard for me to make new friends. I have low self esteem, so I just assume people don't like me or just being polite. Oh, everybody give a virtual hug to our buddy Matt. This is what group is for, you guys. Put your hands upon the screen. Matt, put your hands on the video scope and feel my energy rush through you. You are not alone, and we love you. And those new people don't deserve you anyway. So you can hang with us. Right? So I mean that hazards the question. So are all your old friends like where did they come from? Because my whole thing is this. Most, almost not all, but most of our friendships are made out of circumstance, right? And this is something that I think about a lot now, as you know, in my new role as a it's not new, but my new focus as a children's book author. I think about Kid World all the time, and I did that before all of this. But yeah, we was doing this before we had a record contract. As I think about the circumstances of friendship when we're kids, like it could just be, oh, I got a Nintendo, and this kid down the street got a Nintendo, and we trade Nintendo tapes. We're friends. Or this kid lives across the apartment hallway. We're friends. But you know, the older we get, the more complicated it comes. Like a lot of, you know, and there's a lot of relationships. Like a lot, some people met their significant others at the job or at work, or you know, you met them in the stacks at university. You know, but that's a circumstance. If the circumstances were different, you may not have ever met them. So what makes me really interested in those kind of relationships is what keeps them from falling apart. I think I'd asked last week if anybody, what did I ask that question? I asked if anybody ever had, yeah, we did do this. Was it last week or the other week? Have you ever broken up with a friend, and like how that worked and what was it about? You see a lot of that where people just kind of, as they say, drift apart. And usually the drift apart is kind of like when there's finally tension put on a relationship, meaning, you know, you and your buddy who lived across the street growing up, when you got in the eighth grade, we went to high school, you didn't go to the same high school, so you don't see each other anymore. And then you don't speak anymore. And then, like, is that all it is? So you know, somebody tell me differently. Like, what keeps those friendships together? Anyway, I don't want to be all over the road, but I think this is interesting. Look at the virtual hugs for Matt. I love it. That's right. That's sweet. Jamal says, I'm always making new friends, but shared nostalgia always makes long-term friends special. Yeah, there's something sticky to that. Pause. Team 80s, we rep Team 80s real heavy up in Coffee Break with JN. But I think, yeah, like a shared experience is kind of like the circumstances of things, right? So yeah, you go to the Brony meetup, and you connect with people because you all are in the same thing. Caitlin says, my first friends were the kids at my bus stop. And I'm sure it was a lot easier. Like back then, it was like, hey, let's be friends. Okay. But at the Jamba Juice, and some dude came up to you, was like, let's be friends. I don't think it hit different. Let me get down to some of these questions. Stunt Ken says, oof, I've broken friendships during the COVID, certain president years. And was that like political? Is that kind of like when you think you know people and you don't, because they kind of, as we say in the old country, they showed their ass. Jerry Kraft says, you're my newest friend. Thanks, Jerry. And that says something because we've been friends for a while now. That's interesting. And I also love, not to blow up Jerry's spot, but I love singing the praises of my friends. I do that for all of y'all. I'm always, as they say in wrestling, putting you over, making you look good. And when Jerry's profile bubbled up real giant the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I was like, here's me and my man Jerry Kraft with suits on. And like this, and then all of a sudden people are like, yo, you know this guy named Jerry Kraft? I'm like, I showed you the pictures like 7 years ago. Oh, did you see his book? It's like everybody's always trying to catch up to us. It's funny. Fletch says, I totally hit it off with Charlie McElvey, creator of Spider Squirrel, at last year's Baltimore Comic Con. And literally, why you drop his name, bro? And literally, within 40 seconds, it was like we were the best of friends forever. That's funny. But you know what? Do you think there's also a circumstance there? Like you guys are sharing the love of comics, and then you're both creators, and then you're both in the same place, sharing a space, so it all connects. And I don't want to kind of dissect all of this stuff, but I just think it's very like sometimes I wish that I went into anthropology, not the store, the social science. It's very interesting to study people like that. There's a lot of questions. Yes, I think that has a lot to do with it. Also, that I never eat meals with you because I gotta go. A lot of y'all know I don't hang around, yo. I'm out. Hey Jamal, wish it keeps the mystery in the relationship because you can't pin me down. Pause. Yo, what up, Kyle? Good to see you, brother. Kyle says, I'm mid-age fella. Don't know where to make new live friends. Huh. That being said, I have had conversations with men and women who are jealous with how I choose my artist lifestyle. So I mean that's a whole other thing. If you guys are some of my creatives in the chat, do you have friends who are, I'll call them civilians, like normies? You have muggle friends who, and then I'm sure you have art friends who don't speak the same language. How does that work? Do you have muggle friends who are, you guys share something else? Maybe not art, but like maybe you go to the hockey game, or they're the buddies from your old dormitory, and you guys meet up and like do keg stands or something. Let's talk about that. Mama Carla says in relationships we have to have common ground. People should grow and change. Where's Scott Kurtz? Right, Scott? Growth. If you expect people to stay the same as when folks drift apart, facts. JRD says, I read a book in the 80s about friendship that group relationships and friends was the top tier and generally only have one or two. That's true. What did they say? Old head said, Unc said, you'll be lucky in this world if you have three good friends. It's real. Born alone, die alone, fam. I'm gonna do an ID soon. I got you guys talking tonight. I love it. Um, Jared D says most folks we consider friends. We're gonna keep running that. Friends are really associates or acquaintances. Friends for me become basically what I trust them with kidlit. If I'm good, that's the measuring stick. All right, I feel you on that. Mojo Jojo says I think I'm in the process of a friend breakup. I hope they're not on the chat, but she won't speak to me, so I don't know. Oh, you got ghosted. One reason I don't have the energy for new folks. El Jamal says I turn my back on friends that show that my well-being is not their concern. I ride for my friends and expect it to be reciprocal. Yo, reciprocate that. Kabillion. Wow, so many. I gotta read all of these. Stuntkin says it's difficult to break those friendships because it ended up being something that went against the moral integrity we grew up on. It unfortunately turned out toxic and negative. But it's also funny where you see people on Facebook who like to flex, like, yo, I'm blocking everybody, blockity, block, 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 block. Yo, let's see to block you. I don't like your shirt. I blocked you. Which is a weird kind of energy too, but I know that's not what you're talking about. But it's like, yo, you look at me wrong, block you. You said something spicy, block you. Fletch says, I also still have friends from high school who, if I met them today, I wouldn't be friends with. Mostly for political reasons. Very interesting. Caitlin says, some of the best friends are the ones who fill your cup when you interact. Yeah. There's not a lot of those, though, Caitlin. That's for real. That's FR. Jardi says, I have friends who aren't in comics, but they are all folks I met selling them comics. And they are a handful of folks, 5 or 6, that reached out after I got laid off. I'm sure that means a lot. I'm sure that meant a lot too. It's like after a life event, and a life event could be anything. It's like you get laid off, you get a new job, you quit a job, you get divorced. Oh, we talk about that. The Divortex. You guys know what the Divortex is? I made that up. I swear I made it up. The Divortex is anytime somebody breaks up, it doesn't have to be a divorce. Say a couple you were friends with break up, and the people around them have to pick a side. Either you're going to lose a friend in the Divortex, or you might be the one that sticks with the other one. You get thrown into the Divortex. But yeah, like that says a lot. Like when something traumatic or life altering happens and people don't reach out, even though you're not keeping score, you keep score. It's not that hard to throw people a text, y'all. It's not that hard to like look up from your phone and go, shit, maybe I should call them. But I also think most people are selfish. Caitlin says, I broke up with a friend who called me her best friend, but also said my mental well-being did not matter. They said that in the same conversation. That sounds mad toxic. Jojo, listen to this. Mama Carla comes with the word and it says creatives spend a lot of time in their heads. Facts. You have to be understanding when you think they're ghosting you. Right. Yeah, you're right. Like I'm sure a lot of times we create our own narrative in our head. Like, oh, you know what? The last time I talked to them, I said I ain't like their shoes, and I ain't talked to them in 3 months. They must think I hate them, or what? It's like pump the brakes, yo. Maybe they're just busy. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a benefit of the doubt person because I think I try to be, but then other times when my mind starts spinning about stuff, I'll just ask because I would rather just know than to kind of like guess or have that weird energy in the room. Stunkin says, my closest friends are the ones that set me straight. That's right, straight shooter. I appreciate them when they tell me how it is, and it may be uncomfortable for me to hear, but in the end, it helps me to be better. So does that also? I don't know, but I mean, does it is it just kind of rooted into? I don't know. So is it a thing where like you're expecting them to tell you when things are wrong? So are you rewiring yourself to always expect something to not be good? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh well, my people are going to come in and tell me this is wrong, but what if it's not wrong? What if it's right? Like, I don't know. I don't want to start shrinking you, but I think that's interesting. Man, we're never going to get to an ID. Look at all these questions. I mean, statements. Yeah. Mama Carla, yeah, I don't believe in frenemies. They didn't call them that back in the day. Frenemies wasn't a thing, but actually, somebody just unearthed this old Archie comic when they talked about frenemies. We used to call them fake friends back in the day, and I think like we just talked about that not too long ago. But yeah, nobody's got space for that. Jared D says, "Truth. We creatives overthink everything. I overthink the number of eggs for breakfast. 3. Oh, we're getting deep tonight. Pause. El Jamal says, "When me and my baby mama split, I didn't draw any lines for our friends, but I did watch and learn. We don't have mutual friends, and I didn't lose any friends." You'll speak on it. Jojo with a rebuttal about the friend that's on the ropes. She isn't a creative though. Hmm. It's all tough, right? Matt says, "My late friend Don." Yo, sip of coffee for Don. Could you sip us up for Matt's buddy Don? Matt says, "My late friend Don would always tell me the brutal truth. Always. It was never from a mean place. He was just incapable of sugarcoating anything." Yeah, I hear that. To answer my question, Kenny, nah, I don't expect anything from one, honestly. But for example, if they spot a friend that is using you or treats you like crap and you don't see it, that's when they call it out. One example. Yo, that's what's up. That's a GLO, a good looking out. And that's what squad's supposed to do. But I think also that starts to like thin itself out the older you get, right? You know, like you see people, I don't know, like say you're at the bar and there's some young people over there just going through trauma, like just Fred bullshit, just because they're young. They're young and they're drunk, and they're just like people got their fingers and faces, and it's just like, bro, it's not that serious. But as you kind of like grow up and get older and I think you shake more stuff off, or you also have shut down so many people around you who didn't make the cut. People got cut off the team. They didn't make the they didn't make the starting five, or some people get benched, right? I don't know. This is such an interesting conversation. Yo, Steven, what's up, bro? Steven says, since college, I came up with what I call, I just said, I just did that. That's fantastic. The 5 friend theory. Let's hear it, Steven. I don't believe you can maintain the time to be a deep friend if you're carrying more than 5 at the upper tier. I like it. You can have tons of acquaintances, but friends, there's only a finite time. I love it. I think on that note, we're going to do an ID. What do you guys think? You're watching Coffee Break with JN. With your homie JN. That's right, Jamar Nicholas is my government. You may know me from such hits and or nicknames as Johnny Carson. That's wild stuff. Philly Donahue, Kevin Scrapple, because bacon was taken. PM John. I'll even throw Kenny Bunkport in there, even though that's a whole other thing. K Bunkport, King of Summer, and also my favorite for the longest time. Jerry, did you come up with this one? No, I came up with Did I come up with this one? Then maybe it doesn't count. Jean-Luc Picard, the captain of the ship. Engage. Make it so. T. Earl Grey, hot, nah mean. What happens here on Coffee Break with JN? You get to hang out with me. I'm also a cartoonist and watch me drink coffee and run my mouth. And when I'm out of coffee, where's Trey? Video over. Yes. Did you Dr. Philly? That's new. I've never heard you say Dr. That's funny, Dr. Philly. I used to be really into Dr. Phil for a minute, and then it was all really dumb. But Dr. Phil would always look off stage and ask somebody if I guess it's the producer, can we is it okay if we bring them in? Okay, Monica, come sit down. Tell us why you hate your father. um on the friend thing, Mama Carla says, my close friends are more like siblings to me. That's very true. And some of you might try to call me out all the time when all of the JNN, the Jamar Nicholas Network, that this show is a part of. It's a part of that network. I call everybody my best bud. My best bud. And I've said this before. If this is real messed up, but if we're friends, I'm probably one of your best friends. Discuss. But yeah, Mama Carla says my close friends are like siblings to me. I say brother a lot. Like I believe, you know, there are people that you consider them s- familial in a way. Um, but I don't know. I think you start to learn a lot later in life or early in life that you can't really expect much from people. So and it's probably just a way to put on armor, a protective shell around yourself. If you don't expect anything, you can't get hurt. So you might compartmentalize people around you to you won't let them in, so they can't hurt you. So you just always stay like at arm's length. But I think there's something magnetic about being vulnerable, not being like a punk or whatever you want to call it, but just being open to stuff, right? Some people come with new ways of thinking, you know. That's why I've always enjoyed hanging around old people. And if you've known me for a long time, you've known, and people say this all the time. Jamar is an old soul. Like I've been old in my head since I was a kid, and just hanging around old people and watching them kind of spit game, I think is so intriguing. It's not like they were young once. They weren't born old. They didn't Benjamin Button that. You know what I mean? So you learn stuff if you think to listen and then apply it to your own life. I'm going to switch subjects. Unless you guys want to keep talking about that, but I think that's very interesting. But also, all right, hold on. Before we're done, if you don't employ letting new people in, pause. Why is it? Is there a reason behind it? Do you just not trust people you don't know? I think it's still amazing that we live in a life in a timeline where we all grew up with some tenets. One was get home before the street light comes on. Another was don't talk to strangers. Don't get in strange people's cars. But that's what we do now. I don't know about getting home before the street lights come on. You call an Uber, and then you go to go to your Tinder date. Like those things just don't add up to me. They don't equate to me. And maybe I'm an old head or whatever, but I've never really understood the practice of being social, but not. Okay, I guess this is what I'm getting at. I still come from a place where you would just meet people in social settings, or you just go up to somebody and strike a conversation or whatever. You meet a shorty on the escalator at the gallery mall, whatever. And it still kind of messes me up that people, like, we're in a world where people just meet people on the thing. And that's just where we are now. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just interesting and different for me. Um, but oh, this is funny. I I remember this was years ago. Like I was mentoring some kid, and this is a young guy. And he comes into the office. He's like, "Yo, Jay," and I have to answer everybody's like relationship problem questions. It's like, "Yo, Jay, man, my girl, she's bugging." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So what's the issue?" Blah 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 blah. And it's all real like chicken head stuff. And I'm like, okay. So how long you guys been going out? I don't know, like a month. And I was like, okay. And where'd you meet her? And he said at the mall on the escalator. I said, that's your problem. You just solve your whole thing. Like I don't think that's where you find quality relationships on the going up the downstairs on at the mall. But it's a whole other thing. Caitlin says, old folks are the best and get away with it time. Just spend some time at a nursing home. I think about that. I don't know. I think I might be too much of a weirdo for the nursing home. Um, but I was going to talk about real fast because we started talking about Dr. Phil. Thanks for that, Jerry Crab. Um, the we were talking about reality TV and kind of how that started. Um, Not really how it started, because people say, "Oh, The Real World was the first reality show." I'm not necessarily sure that's true. I think that's it has its place, but I think when we started the march to trash television, or like I don't know, crash TV, garbage television, like when Jerry Springer was the hottest thing, and people were like glued to the TVs just to watch like the garbage happen, you know. And even the Maury Povich paternity test thing. Like I don't even know, does Maury Povich even just do regular shows anymore? They're all paternity tests. Look at his lips, Maury. You know that's his baby. Nah, I ain't my kid. I have the results. You are not the father. Then my man would get up from his seat and start cabbage patching. And then the woman runs off to the back to like the weeping floor where everybody like wipes out. People's Court, yo, I think you're onto something. Doo-doo-doo. I think we talked about this once. Oh, Flavor of Love, that was straight trash. More Downey, zip it. My man had the Newport hanging from his mouth. And you knew something was wrong when Jerry Springer, the set was dressed with a chain link fence and trash cans. It's just like you, like this show is taking place in a gutter. All right, bye, Caitlin. Be safe. Um, but I think some of that started to change when people started to figure out that some of that stuff wasn't real. Like, don't they say the judge shows are real, but the people get paid to be on it? Like Judge Judy's real, People's Court is real, but they get some sort of money for appearing on TV. I know that when people start figuring out that Jerry Springer was real, like people stop watching it. But then it's just kind of like so many people like that in real life. You don't need to watch. I don't know. You don't need to watch the circus so much. But this will be probably not the last thing. We got some more time. What is your favorite reality show? It could be a dating show. It could be a game show like Survivor, or what is the one Wipeout where they put they make these poor people run across the obstacle course to get like hit in the head. What's your favorite reality show? And El Jamal just called for a coffee check, bro. You're not gonna like this, man. While you guys cook up your answer, I'm gonna do this coffee. You know what this is, Jamal? You know what we call it? This is the reverse Drake. Started from the top. Now we here. Mm, not good. Not good. That's not good. It's flashing. It's not good, bro. Jared D is too civilized to watch reality television. I never watched any of that. Oh, also scripted shows too. I guess what were those? That was the one. I guess it was almost like a kind of like a young people like soap opera, not soap opera. Was it like the Hills or something like that? Some of those shows like acted like they were reality shows, but they were scripted. Jared D says, I never watched any of that. It was all just pandering to the worst aspects of our society, and it fed our need to embarrass each other for entertainment. Interesting. Interesting. Uh, K Dub says, OMG, Flavor of Love was total trash. Well, I was in Germany at the time and watched it because I had nothing better to do and it was wild to watch it with German dubbing. Jared D says, I also had a job that put me in contact with some of those hosts and they were garbage individuals. El Jamal says, most recently I've been watching The Circle on Netflix. What's that about? I don't know about that one. Mama Carla says, Flea Market Flip. That was fantastic. Also, this is a funny aside. If you guys remember, this had to have been like 2002, 3, 4, something like that. And I was doing editorial for the Tribune, and Real World had just come to Philly. No, wait a minute. Real World was supposed to come to Philly, but the mayor told them no. I remember like MTV was like trying to get with the mayor's office to do the show, and he was like, "Hell no!" And they were like, "All right." And then I think he was like, "Wait, wait, 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 come back, come back." So the Real World took place in Old City. If you've ever been to Philly, this is kind of like the historic district. And there's kind of like on like Second Street, Third Street, Fourth Street. There's kind of like a clubby young people vibe. And they took over. It was a old bank that they retrofitted and made into this really cool like apartment building. And the Real World kids were in there, and they got zero love from Philadelphia. And if you can go find that season, it's really interesting because every time they would go out, because the young people, they want to go drink, they want to go, smash or whatever, and nobody in the street will play along. Like they'd be walking down the street, and with the camera crews and the people at the bars be like, "Boo, Real World, get out of here, y'all suck! Get out of Philly!" They're like throw stuff at them, and they're like, "Serious, bro? That's Philly for you." They did not get love here. I think I'm gonna go try to find that. But yeah, it's all the things we say about Philly is real. Matt says the wild, wild world of animals. I guess that's a reality show. Any nature shows. I can't stand so-called reality TV. Every one of those shows is vapid and uninteresting. Nobody said Survivor yet. Jared D says, honestly, even Judd Winnick being on The Real World wasn't enough to get me to watch. I remember that stuff. Um, I have a couple of favorites. Um, I'll admittedly, and there's some people here who know this about me. Um, I spent some time watching Real Housewives, and you might go, Jamar, I thought better of you. Now, before any of you guys start acting like you're too good, you're too cool for school. One thing I really enjoyed about the Housewives, because I remember like the first seasons of it, where it was so like unpolished. It was interesting. And then like by the time they did New York and New Jersey was its own thing because I think The Sopranos has just kind of ended, and people were like kind of clamoring for that kind of like Italian Jersey thing. Is there's a very interesting corollary to what people think. If you're rich or if you have money, that everything is supposed to make sense or be better. And these shows kind of make you see that money doesn't buy class, right? And just to watch these people do these social missteps is really interesting. One of my favorite things, see if you can find it, is somebody took, it was a YouTube channel, somebody took whole, like, maybe 5 to 10 minute clips of Real Housewives. And you know how they're all like that meme, right? The one meme where the two women are pointing and yelling, and the cat is in the next frame. I think it was New York, or I can't remember, Orange County. And somebody would dub over all their voices. You know, they're always yelling, and they whisper. It's hilarious. You know what? You know what? You're a monster. You're a monster. And you shouldn't be on this world, in this earth. You should leave my house right now. You should leave. No, you leave. It's hilarious. I watched Housewives. I was a big fan of Upper Deck. Yeah, the Yachty show. We talked about that. Um, I was a giant Survivor fan, but I think that's a game show. That kind of doesn't count. Um, what is the circle? Oh, okay, hold on. Jamal says the circle places 15 people in isolation. They only interact with 7 other people at a time. Hmm. Through the social media platform called the Circle, no face-to-face interaction. What is it? What is that on? Is that on like? Is that on regular TV? I never liked Big Brother. Big Brother was whack, but I did enjoy. I've never watched The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, all those game shows. Survivor is my jam. Still, I don't watch. I think I kind of watched the most Survivor I have last season. Um, but you know, some of you guys know my old love was back when I was freelancing back in the early aughts. I had I had my block. I just always had the TV on in my studio, and the day would start off. I think it was 10 o'clock with Shipmates with Chris Hardwick. This is young, drunk, fat Chris Hardwick, not the, I guess, nerd superhero he is now. Then it was Blind Date. Blind Date was hilarious. No, wait, what did I say? Shipmates, right? Shipmates was Chris Hardwick. I think this was either before or after he was on Remote Control on MTV. I can't remember. Then Fifth Wheel with Aisha Taylor will come on, and then the Judge Block. They didn't Judge Judy. You didn't get to judge the good judges in the middle of the day. They were later, but I think there was like Divorce Court with Judge Auntie with the hair like that. Um, Judge Milian, that was the New People's Court. Judge Joe Brown, Judge Mathis. So good. Below Deck, yes, I said Upper Deck. Those are the baseball cards. Thank you, Fletch. And before we go, I gotta give it to Fletch. You dirty, low down, dirty gum hustler. Thank you for that. Oh, I see Art Baltazar in the building. El Jamal says the Circle's on Netflix. It's ultimately a game show as a winner gets a 100K. But it's an interesting portrait of how friends and alliances are made. A person can portray themselves however they want. I might have to watch that. Thank you. Oh yeah, Art Baltazar. Yo, let's give a sip to my man Art Baltazar. You know Art in these streets. Where's my sipper? Put your sippers up. Oh yeah, man. Art's got a lot of stuff going on. Good to see you, bro. Art knows about that TV block back in the thousands. Judge Maybelline, Divorce Court. Yeah, you're a good man, sir. American Pickers. That's the wait. What's the one where the people drive the log haulers, the long haulers. Pause. What is that? American Pickers is what? That's what people like. They're like junkers, right? That's right. I call it a sipper. Art Baltazar calls it a swig. Swig of coffee for the working man. Um, Flesh says I got into Alaskan bush people for a while. I love it. No, no, that's not it. So, um, but yeah, I mean, you're not winning any friends with this stuff, and it's just like sometimes you just need to like turn your brain off. But one thing I'll say, all the Bravo network of reality stuff, and then your boy Andy Cohen gets on his clubhouse show. He's created a pocket multiverse where these shows have been on so long, and he'll have guests on who are from the reality shows that people clap and applaud, and they know all their catchphrases and they know all their memes, and he just sits back and counts his money. It's amazing. There was a show. I don't know if you guys saw this, but because I was heavy into Bravo at one point, and there was a show that they made of people watching the reality shows. It was kind of Beavis and Buttheady, but it was just like these couples, and it would just like switch from switch to switch, and they would just watch them like sitting on their living room or sitting on their beds, like yelling at the TV, watching these shows. It's so surreal. JRD says all reality TV just reminds you of the Sam Kinison routine about those ads for hungry children. The Phil Cruz holding back sandwiches. I miss Sam Kinison. Wow, everybody watches The Circle. What's that about? Uh, Mama Carl like Storage Wars, Expedition Bigfoot. What about Ghost Hunters? Y'all got all that in there? I just put the pause there. You didn't see it? I put it on the screen. Sure, we could do true crime. That's right, Matt. He was about to act like he don't watch these shows. I think, oh crap, I think I'm a liar. Just remember that, like Most Dangerous Catch. I love Dangerous Catch. That was great TV for a while. Dirty Jobs and How It's Made. Um, I didn't like MythBusters. Or what about I don't know. Maybe the Food Network doesn't count. We'll just leave that out of there. But also, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I liked? I like for some reason I was really into Million Dollar Listing, like just watching these three personalities of these people just make commissions and hustle their way through New York was interesting to me. And I forget there was a LA one where the young dude who had like the total Justin Bieber haircut. Parking Wars. I was about to say, I was coming to that. Yo, Parking Wars is real. If you want to see how Philly really works, you watch a couple of seasons of Parking Wars. You see, it's there was one, and it seems like I always wind up watching the same one. Is there's this notorious hoagie spot? It's like a corner deli, and it's like right off the Kelly Drive near Fairmount Park, and there's no parking on the corner where this place is, and people always double park, and they run in to get the sandwich, and my man is just at the corner like, do do do, rip, and somebody always runs out the stairs like, yo, my man, what you doing? Man, you know you can't park there. Man, come on, man. I just try to get my sandwich, bro. Parking Wars is fantastic. And you can just see how people get so frustrated with the PPA. That's if you want to ask me about how's Philadelphia, watch Parking Wars. As they also like they have the boot squad. And I don't know if you live in a cultured city that doesn't have boots, but a boot is when you are a scofflaw, look at my big word of the night, and you have so many parking tickets that the parking authority comes and they put a Captain America shield on your tire, and they lock your tires so you can't move your car. And they'll remove the boot when you pay the tickets. It's mad embarrassing. And it's also like, and you probably owe like hundreds and hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars in unpaid parking tickets. So the boot squad, they roll around in their truck. It's like this lady and this dude, and they're like, "All right, Chauncey, I got him. I got a hit." All right, and they pull into the most dangerous neighborhoods in Philly, and they're like, "Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go!" And like they're trying to like beat the clock. They try to do these boots before the owners come out and have a confrontation with them. Sun says, I was in a Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmare. I like Bar. No, I didn't like Bar Rescue that much. I love my girl Tabitha in Salon Makeover. But what I loved about Salon Makeover, I think that's the name of it. They gave her a spin-off show where it was like more than just salons. Is and I don't own a salon, but if you read between the lines and you watch how this woman is interacting with these business owners, you can apply that to anything, any business. It's like you don't have any clients because your secretary is eating a open faced Tom turkey sandwich at the desk and licking her fingers and it's gross and they leave. You need to tell your sister, who's the receptionist, to clean up her act or fire her. I can't do that. That's my sister. Well, you don't have any business. Like it's well, let's go in the back and let's pull the hair out of the hairbrushes and people think you're gross. That's why you have no clients. So good. Parking wars where people pay $45 for a sandwich. That's an expensive hoagie, bro. That's real rap. Matt says, I've never oh wow, it's already been an hour. I've never hated reality show more than I hated the pitch. I haven't watched that one. Jared D says, I ran a couple of restaurants. Yes, you do. You're a resto. Hell and nightmares drives me up the wall, especially because Ramsey is a garbage human. I saw one. I don't watch it, but there was this clip where this guy got Ramsey got under this dude's skin, and he got the dude got in Ramsey's face, and he was like, "Come, bro, you want to go?" And he's like, "You're trash. Get out of my kitchen. You're trash. You're garbage. Hey, you want to hit me? Go ahead, hit me." He was like pushing every button on this dude, and I'm like, in real life, you go outside, he's gonna stab you. Like, I don't get it. Right? It's common sense. And I think, there's so much emotion or even family baggage and friendships that are tied into some business, they're kind of doomed to fail. So these people come in and they like try to counsel them and then they like, give them a new like sometimes they change the name, like the bar rescue guy would do that and put new stuff in there and people show up and they're like, "Oh, this is fantastic." And they probably go out of business anyway because these people don't know how to run a business. But anyway, I think that's my time, you guys. We just kind of talked through it. That's interesting. We talked about Friends. We talked about reality shows. So we're going to watch The Circle, and you're going to watch Parking Wars, and then we're going to come back next week and talk about Philly some more after you've watched a couple seasons of Parking Wars. All right, you guys, that's it for me. I think I got a swig in here. Thank you so much. I only did one ID, but we'll do one on the way out the door. Yeah, let me pay some bills before we go. Oh, here, I'll do this for you. You'll like this. Guys, it's June. And you know what that means? June means it's just that much closer to the release of my new middle grade book, Leon Extraordinary. Yo, I don't know why I did that. Go anywhere books are sold, cop it. I tell you this every episode. Walmart's, Target, Bezos, BNN, bookshop.org. Go to your local neighborhood bookstore and go, don't do that. Yo, can I pre-order Leon Extraordinary from Scholastic Graphics? Yes, you can, sir and or ma'am. Cop it, right? And I even got, did I make that little joint here? Oh, maybe I deleted it. I thought I made a little thingy. I had like a little pop up. I don't know what to do with it. But yeah, go get it. Also, what else am I going to plug right here? Pause. Also, let's do before we get out of here. Let's talk about the Patreon. If you're interested in joining me on my run for world domination, or to purchase a hydrofoil, please join my Patreon today. I post videos that you won't see anywhere else, like my world famous Monday morning constitutional. Tell them JRD or MMC. Kenny Wong, you know about this. Jamal, you know about this. You know how we boogie. Also, It Ain't Hard to Tell, my fortnightly podcast with Marvel and DC mainstream superstar comic artist Mike Hawthorne. Mike Hawthorne is one of my best buds. You'll only see that there. Um, among other things, just go down to the link, patreon.com/Jamar Nicholas. Check it out. Become a friend with Jamar. And to that point, let's do our GLOs. Good looking out to these people, these fine feathered friends on the John, the crawl below. I'm very happy and fortunate to have your guys' patronage, along with everybody else who comes out of pocket every month for me. Thank you so much. It allows me to breathe. It gives me some mental real estate to create work for the good of the world. Thank you so much. Also, good looking out part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Let's save the rec center to these fine people down here. Thank you so much. That's right. Oh, look at that. Pre-order already. I love it. Oh yeah, man. That's right, Sunkin. That's how we roll. JRD says Monday morning constitutional required viewing on Monday afternoons. I ain't lie. Yo, kidlet, what's good? Right? We're doing real stuff out here. Also, let's get that off the screen. And I'd be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to, you know who you are, the caffeines, friends and regulars. Not decaf. Of Coffee Break with JM. Thank you so much for your eyeballs. So yeah, let's get out of here, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm missing Sue's energy tonight, and if Sue's isn't watching, no Sue's pose. You're just gonna have to wait till next week, bruh. No Sue's pose for you. That's right. No soup for you. So what she would say if she were here is, say your goodbyes now, y'all. We ran late. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Good night, John boy. And let's say some goodbyes. Let's go home. Oh yeah, man. Everybody loves them some Sue's. Good night, y'all. Good night, y'all. Let's go. I'll go get that. Go. Good luck with your healing, Matt. Remember to hydrate. Make sure you drink plenty of liquids. I recommend Body Armor Light drinks. Get your electrolytes up. Yes, Kidlit, come on. You know what time we start. Put it in your calendar. All right, you guys. Thanks. Let's get out of here. You've been watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. DBA Kenny Bunkport. DBA Johnny Carr, Philly Donahue, Jean-Luc Picard, and also your internet best friend and safe space. What happened here tonight, you guys? You got to hang out with me, cartoonist JN, and watch me drink this coffee and run my mouth. And now that I'm out of coffee, that's a wrap. See you next week.